In at number 10, Judd Apatow. After the shocking altercation, some celebrities took to Twitter to share how much they disagreed with Will Smith's actions. Director Judd Apatow was probably the most vocal, who said in a series of tweets, quote, "Seems like Will Smith's plan to get comedians and the world to not make jokes about him is not going to pan out. The Williams family must be furious. Pure narcissism. Also, G.I. Jane was gorgeous. What exactly is insulting about being compared to a ripped, stunning Demi Moore?" He then replied to a tweet that mentioned that Will did what he did because Rock was insulting her alopecia. Apatow doubled down, writing, quote, "He could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They're not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind." Apatow has since deleted the tweets, but we can assume he meant every word. In at number 9, Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish was one of the few celebrities who decided to support Will Smith's actions. She stated how much she loved to see a husband standing up for his wife. It probably also helped that Haddish and Pinkett Smith are friends and starred in the movie Girls Trip together. Haddish told People, quote, "When I saw a black man stand up for his wife, that meant so much to me. As a woman who has been unprotected, for someone to say, 'Keep my wife's name out of your mouth, leave my wife alone,' that's what your husband is supposed to do, right? Protect you." And maybe the world might not like how it went down, but for me it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen because it made me believe there are still men out there that love and care about their women. Adding that she thought it was beautiful because it proved that there are husbands that still care about their wives. In at number 8, Sophia Bush. One Tree Hill star Sophia Bush tried to see both sides of the situation and tweeted out, quote, "Violence isn't okay. Assault is never the answer. Also, this is the second time that Chris has made fun of Jada on the Oscars stage, and tonight he went after her alopecia. Punching down at someone's autoimmune disease is wrong. Doing so on purpose is cruel. They both need a breather." I do appreciate how she tried to see both sides of things because both men are wrong in some ways. Chris Rock also joked about Pinkett Smith at the 2016 Oscars. Her and Will decided not to go that year to protest the lack of diversity at the award show. While hosting, Rock said, quote, "Jada said she's not coming to protest. I'm like, isn't she on a TV show? Jada's going to boycott the Oscars? Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited." He also took a jab at Will and added a comment about Will's lack of nomination that year, saying, quote, "It's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. You're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay?" He said, referencing one of Smith's biggest flops. In at number 7, Lupita Nyong'o. One of the celebrities whose live reaction to the incident has gone viral is Lupita Nyong'o. Lupita was seated right behind Will Smith, so when he sat down after slapping Chris Rock, we got a clear view of exactly how she was feeling. It was the same shock and horror that most of us were experiencing at that time. Lupita won Best Supporting Actress in 2014 for her role in 12 Years a Slave and was at the 2022 ceremony to hand out the Best Costume Design award. She looked incredibly uncomfortable as she sat inches away from Will as he raged at Chris Rock on stage. One person tweeted along with her picture, quote, "Give Lupita Best Supporting Actress for her work tonight." This is now being called her second best moment at the Oscars. The first was when she took part in Ellen DeGeneres' then social media breaking selfie from the 2014 ceremony. And at number 6, Denzel Washington. Another celebrity that supported Will Smith after his outburst was Denzel Washington. During the commercial break of the show, journalists noted that Will was seen talking to Washington and Tyler Perry for an extended period of time. Will was breaking down and looking for support from the men. The Hollywood Reporter's columnist Scott Feinberg captured the moment when Denzel Washington approached Smith during a commercial break and shared it on Twitter Sunday night. The reporter added, quote, "Will appears to wipe tears away from his eyes as he sits back down with Jada, with Denzel comforting Jada and Will's rep by his side." Then during his speech for Best Actor, Will revealed what Denzel said to him, saying, quote, "At your highest moment, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." It seems the pair are good friends. During another interview, Will said, quote, "He knew me years ago. I would go to Denzel for advice, so he's seen me through the years and he was just telling me how proud he is of who I've become and what I've become." Halfway at number 5, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman easily had the most memeable reaction to the slap, and thankfully photographers captured the moment where her jaw was dropped as low as it could go. Kidman was seated in the front row, so not only did she get a clear view of the slap, we got an unobstructed view of her reaction. I really think hers is the perfect reaction to the slap because it was just so shocking. My face probably looked about the same when I saw it. Kidman is well known for another notable Oscars moment when her seal-looking clap was put on display. Thankfully, this will now be the new meme starring her. And at number 4, Serena Williams. Serena Williams was also in the front row of the show as her father and life story was showcased in the movie King Richard. Since she had such a deep connection to the film, many were wondering what her and her sister Venus's reaction would be to the outburst. She broke her silence on Instagram, where she simply shared a video of her mouth hanging open with her eyes wide, clearly showcasing what we were all feeling, utter disbelief. She then followed this up with another video, saying, quote, "I just sat down because I was like, I gotta put that drink down," again looking in shock. It was clearly a reference to what just happened. The sisters have said nothing more. Many are wondering if the family is hurt that Will would hurt the legacy of the film, or if they approve of what he did. And at number 3, Nick Viall. Nick Viall, former Bachelor contestant, gave his thoughts on the slap, and he was asked to compare it to the drama on The Bachelor. Viall said what happened at the Oscars was, quote, "way more dramatic than what happens on The Bachelor." Adding, quote, "I think most people just wondered if it was like a bit or a joke, if it was fake. I think pretty quickly we realized it was serious." I also shared that he felt bad for Chris Rock, adding, quote, "Chris Rock is there to be a comedian. He tells jokes. Obviously, there's going to be some at the expense of people. Everyone has a right to feel how they feel, and we have our hurt feelings, but how we handle our hurt feelings matters." Viall continued that he doesn't think Smith handled his feelings in the best way, but added that his performance in King Richard was amazing and he deserved the win. In at number 2, Ethan Klein. One YouTuber that made their thoughts incredibly clear was Ethan Klein, who posted a string of tweets denouncing Will's actions. He wrote, quote, "Will Smith's just a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Probably should deal with whatever trauma he has with her instead of punching Chris Rock in the face for an extremely tame joke. He needs to be escorted out of the Oscars, L." Adding in another tweet, quote, "Will Smith won and got a standing ovation. I'm in awe. The show went on like nothing happened. Will Smith punched a comedian for doing his job. He's a celebrity in the front row of the Oscars where it's normal to be roasted. Bad taste or not, defending Will equals brain rot." Many pointed out that Will only did so because Chris made fun of his wife's alopecia, but Klein did not back down and said that that's no reason to slap someone in the face, which I completely agree with. And finally at number 1, Howard Stern. Howard Stern did not hold back on his Monday morning radio show, completely blasting Will Smith for his actions. Stern said, quote, "What you saw on TV was a guy with real issues. That's crazy. That's crazy when you can't contain yourself." His co-host Robin Quivers called the assault a, quote, "blindsided attack," noting that Rock had no idea that the hit was coming. Both Stern and Quivers blasted the Academy for not immediately ejecting Smith from the event, with Stern adding, quote, "You don't provide security, you don't have someone to come up there. Chris Rock was just trying to make people laugh at the ceremony, which is so long and boring." Comic Nikki Glasser also called into the show to agree, with her adding that she's afraid of what might happen to other comedians when they make risky jokes at a comedy club. All three blasted the inaction from other celebrities in the room and the Academy for doing nothing. And at number 10, Jennifer Lawrence. This is one you know we had to include. Jen is known for her quirky and down-to-earth personality and not taking herself too seriously. She's also quite the klutz, which she proved after she tripped while walking up to the stage to accept her Oscar for Best Actress in 2013. After she got up to the stage, the crowd gave her a standing ovation, and she said, quote, "You guys are just standing because you feel bad that I fell, and that's really embarrassing." And this isn't the only time that Jennifer has fallen. She actually fell at the Oscars again while on the red carpet a few years later. This Oscars klutziness has caused some to think she's just faking it all for press.
At number 9, Hattie McDaniel. Back in 1940, legendary actress Hattie McDaniel was nominated for an Academy Award for her work in Gone with the Wind, and she actually ended up winning the Oscar. However, because of segregation at the time, she was almost unable to accept the award because she was black, and they almost didn't let her attend the ceremony. Back then, the venue where the award ceremony was held was a whites-only establishment, so people from the studio that made the film had to pull a lot of strings to get the actress in the building, and even then she wasn't allowed to sit with the rest of the cast of Gone with the Wind. Instead, she was seated in the far corner of the venue away from everyone else, but as long as she was there and able to accept the award, that was enough. She made history that night and caused scandal, but it just showed Hollywood that racism will never win.
And at number 8, Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. The whole world fell in love with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper when they were starring in the movie A Star Is Born. The on-screen chemistry between the pair was so amazing, many fans thought there was definitely a real connection between them. The rumors about these two got even crazier when the pair performed a ballad from the movie at the 2019 Oscars, and the chemistry during the performance was hard to deny. Lady Gaga had also recently broke up with her fiancé Christian Carino around this time, leading many to think it was because of jealousy. And then during their performance, Bradley's longtime girlfriend Irina Shayk was sitting in the audience, which made things even even more awkward. The whole situation got a ton of buzz for the movie, but might have had real-world consequences as Serena and Bradley split up shortly after.
At number 7, John Travolta. Now, I wouldn't really call this one a scandal per se, but it did have a lot of people talking and laughing about it, so I just had to include it. In 2014, John Travolta created one heck of a meme, and you probably remember it. At the Oscars that year, Idina Menzel was supposed to perform Let It Go from the movie Frozen, which was kind of the hottest movie at the time, and John Travolta was supposed to introduce her to the stage. Well, instead of introducing Idina, he instead welcomed someone named Adele Dazeem.
Gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen. Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
This mishap was incredibly embarrassing for both parties, as it created memes within minutes and was even the subject of a John Travolta name generator where it would scrabble your name like Adele Dazeem. Even though it was super cringy, there's actually an explanation for the whole unfortunate ordeal. According to John, Idina's name had been changed on the teleprompter at the last minute so that it was spelled phonetically because they didn't want to risk him messing it up. John hadn't rehearsed with the name spelt like that, so rather than the change help him out, it actually just made things so much worse, and Adele Dazeem was born.
And at number 6, Eminem. In 2003, the Oscars category for Best Original Song was jam-packed with big contenders, including the fan-favorite Eminem track Lose Yourself from 8 Mile. Lose Yourself actually ended up winning the award, and nobody was more shocked than the rapper himself. After he won, Eminem did not get up on stage, and one of his other collaborators accepted the award on his behalf, saying that Eminem was not able to make it that night. But the truth is that Eminem was so convinced he would not win the award, he didn't bother to show up. In an interview later, he was asked about that night, and Marshall admitted that he was actually asleep when it was announced that he won, which I'm sure the Oscars were not happy about.
At number 5, Ryan Seacrest. This one is more of a personal scandal than a high-profile one, but I'm gonna tell you about it because my boy Ryan was super hurt by it. Imagine being invited to one of Hollywood's biggest events just to get kicked out moments after you arrive. Well, this is basically what happened to Ryan Seacrest, as he was invited to the Oscars award ceremony one year and was kicked out of the awards show shortly afterwards. According to Ryan, he was invited to the award show to provide the segue from the pre-show event to the main award show, which in itself is a pretty big honor, but after he completed his task, he went to go find a seat because he assumed that he would be staying for the rest of the show, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. While he was looking for a seat, he was approached by the event's ushers and managers and was told, quote, "Mr. Seacrest, your car is ready." He was a little confused and was like, no, what do you mean? I just opened the show," to which they replied with, quote, "We don't have a ticket for you, Ryan." He continued recounting that experience, saying, quote, "They put me in a car and they drove me out, and the next thing I know, I'm on Hollywood Boulevard going away from the Oscars, and the LAPD are on the corner, the windows down, and they say, 'Hey Ryan, you're going the wrong way,' and I say, 'No, I'm going the right way.' They sent me home to watch on television like everyone else." He was pretty butthurt about it and maybe still holds a grudge for that, but at least he was able to get comfy at home.
And at number 4, the 1974 Oscars streaker. This one's a little less known, but since most award shows are live broadcasts, it's understandable that some people might try and take advantage. That's exactly what happened at the 1974 Oscars, when a man decided to run naked through the broadcast. The man even flashed a peace sign while he ran past the presenter, David Niven. Niven was hardly fazed and responded by saying, quote, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen, but isn't it fascinating to think that probably the only laugh that man will ever get in his life is by stripping off and showing his shortcomings." And honestly, probably the shadiest thing that I've ever heard.
At number 3, Sean Penn. Actor Sean Penn got into a bit of a scandal at the 2015 Academy Awards. The actor was announcing the award for Best Picture, but before reading the name of the winner, Alejandro G. Iñárritu, he made a joke that definitely did not land and actually offended quite a few people. Before announcing Alejandro as the winner, Sean joked, saying, quote, "Who gave this son of a B a green card?" Sean's joke was seen as highly offensive and racist because of Alejandro's background, as one person online explained, quote, "Struggles people endure for immigration justice are not punchlines." As Alejandro is Mexican, the joke definitely was uncalled for and inappropriate. Some defended Sean, saying that he had only made the joke because they had been friends for about a decade, but others made the argument that, quote, "A director of color can't accept an Oscar without being the butt of a racist joke." The award show was supposed to be a scandal-free evening, but instead news outlets took to broadcasting Sean's offensive remark.
And at number 2, Marissa Tomei. Before we had the infamous Moonlight La La Land mix-up, there was a popular conspiracy theory going around claiming that Marissa Tomei did not actually win her 1993 Oscar. Instead, the presenter just said the wrong name and everyone went along with it. This theory was started because many were shocked to see that Tomei had won instead of her well-established competition. As well, following the event, The Hollywood Reporter printed a blind item about rumors that she hadn't really won. They claimed the presenter, Jack Palance, was too intoxicated to read it right, so he just read the last name as the winner. It was such a big rumor the Academy had to deny it many times. After the La La Land mix-up, we know that if she didn't really win, someone would have made it right.
And finally in at number 1, Sacha Baron Cohen. Sacha Baron Cohen is quite the jokester and is known for his wild characters. From Bruno to Borat, he seems to almost always be in character, and this was seemingly no exception at the Academy Awards in 2012. Sacha was at the event and walked the red carpet in character as Admiral General Shahbaz Aladdin from his film The Dictator, and along with being accompanied by 2 bodyguards, he had a prop with him, a golden urn filled with the pretend ashes of North Korean Premier Kim Jong-il. While walking the red carpet, he stopped to be interviewed by Ryan Seacrest, and then this happened.
The interesting thing is it's actually made by South Korea. No, sorry. You've got Kim Jong. You've got Kim Jong-il.
Sacha dumped the ashes on Ryan, ruining his suit and causing quite a scene at the event. Weeks later, we found out that Sacha's original target was actually George Clooney, but since it was a pretty big night for him, they skipped Clooney and the unfortunate prank landed on Ryan instead. After that, Ryan purposely steered clear of Sacha, refusing to interview him, and the Academy has been vigilant of Sacha's stunts, even though they haven't really been able to stop them since.
Coming in at 10, Willem Dafoe. Dafoe is a legendary actor with 2 Oscar nominations under his belt for both At Eternity's Gate and the incredible Florida Project. However, his quest for a 3rd Oscar nod has been halted during a time when most were expecting him to at least get a chance to claim the big prize. Dafoe starred last year in the horror movie The Lighthouse, which followed 2 lighthouse keepers who start to lose their sanity when a storm strands them on a remote island where they are stationed. The movie received universal acclaim, with critics highlighting the performances of both leads, Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. However, sadly, the Academy didn't feel the same way and snubbed the talented actor. Could be just because they hate horror movies. Coming in at 9, Taron Egerton. At the 2020 Golden Globes, Taron Egerton took home the award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy for his role as Elton John in the movie Rocketman. The film follows Elton in his early days as a prodigy at the Royal Academy of Music through his musical partnership with Tobin. However, unlike Rami Malek, who portrayed Freddie Mercury in the movie Bohemian Rhapsody and went on to win the Best Actor Oscar last year, Egerton didn't even receive a nomination. In at 8, Christian Bale. Last year, Christian Bale appeared alongside Matt Damon in the drama movie Ford vs Ferrari, a movie which follows a determined team of American engineers and designers led by automotive visionary Carroll Shelby and his British driver Ken Miles, who are dispatched by Henry Ford II and Lee Iacocca with the mission of building the Ford GT40, a new racing car with the potential to finally defeat the perennially dominant Ferrari racing team at the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans race in France. Now, Bale in the past has been nominated for 4 Oscars, with him taking home the Oscar once with the 2011 Best Supporting Actor win for The Fighter. Put him in serious contention once again, however sadly he didn't get the nod this time around. Coming in at 7, Nicole Kidman. Last year, Nicole Kidman appeared alongside Charlize Theron and Margot Robbie in the biographical drama Bombshell, a movie based upon the accounts of several women at Fox News who set out to expose CEO Roger Ailes for harassment. The film as a whole received mixed reviews, however critics praised the performances of the cast, particularly Theron, Kidman, Robbie and John Lithgow. At the Golden Globe Awards, the movie received 2 nominations for Theron and Robbie, and 4 at the 26th Screen Actors Guild Awards for Theron, Robbie and Kidman. However, when the Oscars announced the nominations, only Theron and Robbie received a nod, with Nicole Kidman being completely forgotten about. You never put Kidman in a corner. In at 6, Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy is back and better than ever, apparently. Last year he starred in the biographical comedy Dolomite Is My Name, with Murphy starring as filmmaker Rudy Ray Moore, best known for portraying the character of Dolomite in both his stand-up routine and a series of blaxploitation films, starting with Dolomite in 1975. The film received hugely positive reviews from critics, with folks praising Murphy's comeback performance, with it being his first film in 3 years. It was also chosen by both the National Board of Review and Time magazine as one of the 10 best films of the year. At the 77th Golden Globe Awards, the film was also nominated for Best Motion Picture animation, musical, or comedy, with Murphy also nabbing a nomination for Best Actor. However, like the rest of our list, Murphy came up short at the Oscars, with the Academy seemingly snubbing him. In at 5, Lupita Nyong'o. Now, Lupita Nyong'o didn't just give one stellar performance in 2019, she gave 2 in the wickedly terrifying Jordan Peele movie Us. The film followed Adelaide Wilson and her family, who were attacked by a group of menacing doppelgangers. Now, Lupita played Adelaide and of course the doppelganger, and she was absolutely incredible in both roles. But sadly, the Academy didn't agree and denied the actress a second nomination after she won Best Supporting Actress for 12 Years a Slave back in 2013. In at 4, Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler received very rare critical acclaim for his performance in Uncut Gems, a movie that follows Howard Ratner, a jeweler and gambling addict in New York City's Diamond District, who gets in over his head with loan sharks and must retrieve an expensive gem he purchased in order to pay off his debts. Now, Sandler campaigned hard for a nomination, and longtime fans were there right alongside him, hoping the comedian could earn his very first nomination. However, Sandler sadly got no love from the Academy, upsetting a lot of fans and the movie. To be fair, it's hard to separate Sandler from his past, such as 50 First Dates, Happy Gilmore, and all the other he's done. In at number 3, Awkwafina. Now, this one is the most frustrating in my opinion, because how do you go from winning a Golden Globe to not even getting nominated for an Oscar? I just don't understand it. It reminds me of the time the Queen, Madonna, won the Golden Globe for Evita and then was snubbed for the Oscar when we all know she should have been nominated and should have won. Just saying. Anyway, Awkwafina starred in The Farewell, a movie that follows a family who, upon learning their grandmother has only a short while left to live, decides not to tell her and schedules a family gathering before she dies. The actress was praised for her performance and, as I previously mentioned, even won the Golden Globe, making her the first Asian actress to take home the Best Actress in a musical or comedy category, which is absolutely insane. But sadly, and for some unknown reason, the Oscars didn't even look her way. No one cares about the Oscars anyway, it's all about the Golden Globes. Coming in at 2, Robert De Niro. Fans were of course upset when legendary actor Robert De Niro also missed out on an Oscar nod, but it wasn't too much of a surprise considering he also failed to get a nomination at the Golden Globes or Screen Actors Guild. He starred in The Irishman, where he played Frank Sheeran. The film follows Frank, a truck driver who becomes a hitman involved with mobster Russell Bufalino and his crime family, including his time working for the powerful team star Jimmy Hoffa. The film made waves for its incredible de-aging technology, with the older actors looking more youthful than ever. However, it became clear after a handful of failed nominations that the 2-time Oscar winner in a critically praised role was about to miss out on an Oscar nod, due to being overshadowed by his supporting co-stars Joe Pesci and Al Pacino. Could also be because the film was about 3.5 hours long and no one has time to watch that. And finally, coming in at number 1, J-Lo. It was widely predicted that Jennifer Lopez was going to receive a Best Supporting Actress nomination at the Oscars, as she did at the Golden Globes. The actress was of course nominated for her performance in Hustlers, where she played a named Ramona Vega, with the plot following a crew of strippers in New York City who begin to steal money by stock traders and CEOs who visit their club, and then running up their credit cards. J-Lo is absolutely phenomenal in this movie, with the actress even bringing home Screen Actors Guild, Critics' Choice and Golden Globe nominations. However, the Oscars turned a blind eye to the star's performance and snubbed her, with outcry immediately pouring out on social media. Lopez's snub particularly upset Tyler Perry, who said, I quote, "I'm upset, man. J-Lo didn't get nominated. Are you kidding me? She should have gotten nominated." I honestly couldn't agree more. Hustlers was by far one of my favorite movies of 2019, and that is saying something. I honestly thought it was going to be and it was one of the best things I've ever seen. And J-Lo needs an Oscar.